Lawn Mower Detectives.
All right, sir, we'll take it from here.
Okay.
Stay back.
Okay.
Stay back here, sir. Lawn Mower Detectives, reveal yourself, otherwise I'm just gonna start blasting. Well, sorry, that was an accidental discharge. My bad. You just blew up a shelf full of spark plugs. Sir, quit setting that buzzer off. You're gonna scare a criminal.
Oh, sorry. What is it?
Obviously, a crime has been committed. It smells like somebody died in here. It smells like a pretty fresh load. They can't be far. Come on, let's go. This room next. All right, detective, do the honors. You ready? Ready. Mower detectives, we're coming in! There ain't nobody in here. What do you think, detective? Should we go upstairs? There's probably nobody up there. Plus, I don't feel like climbing them stairs. Nah, me either.
Well, obviously, they've been kidnapped.
Did we tell you to wait outside?
Well, it's cold out there.
Who's there? Pterodactyl here. Today's video is going to be on this turd. So I got a text from Elkskins the other day. He was at the scrapyard and he saw this little tiller. And he said, "You want me to pick it up?" And I said, "Sure." So we bought it from the scrapyard for $16.05. Can you believe it? You had to pay tax on it. It was $15 and then $1.05 in tax. So we were checking it out, looking it over. At first we thought it was a lawn boy, but it's not a lawn boy, because if it was a lawn boy, it'd have a lawn boy sticker on it, or a decal for the model number. And there's the model of it. The cameraman's looking at it upside down. So looking at that model number tag, that's telling me MTD. And MTD, you know what that stands for? Many troubles daily. So I'm sure it was private branded for some company that used this green and white color scheme like a lawn boy, but it's not a lawn boy. So I looked at the code date, because that's when you can tell what year it was made. And it started with 80, so that tells me 1980. So this thing still got points condenser. So first thing we're going to do, let's see if it's got oil in it. Yeah, it's got some. Got some dinosaur syrup in it. Next thing we're going to do, see if it's got any spark. Oh yeah, it's got spark. And from pulling on it, feels like it's got compression. Let me put my spectacles on. Next thing I'm going to do is look in the gas tank. And the gas tank looks clean, surprisingly. Well, I'm just wondering if somebody might have just been cleaning out their shed or their barn and it's like a little dirt in the bottom. And thought, you know what, let's just get rid of that tiller. But it runs. That tiller still works. Yeah, well, I'll get rid of it. I'm sick of trooping over that stupid thing. Let's look at the air filter. Looks like it might have caught fire at one time. It's not all falling apart. All right. Try and spray a little carb spray in there and see if it'll lick off. It's not starting. You pull the choke. That's a good sign. Where's my oil sucker? One time I was at the scrapyard and I seen Elkskin's truck was there, but I didn't see Elkskin's. So I'm rooting around in the scrapyard looking at different stuff, and all of a sudden I see this pile of scrap start moving. I'm like, oh, there's probably some wild dog or something in there. And all of a sudden Elkskin's jumped out. It was like taking a nap in a pile of scrap. That's what he likes to do. Alright, I'm gonna get some dinosaur syrup. Dinosaur juice. Let's pour it in there. Because this is a real simple carburetor. This is when they used to make stuff good. Pull the choke out. Got it on fast. Let me give it some help again. Tip it forward so it can get to them valves. Pull that choke out. Started running wild. Might be too much tension on that governor spring. It's got an air vane governor. Alright. We open the screw a little more. See if it'll start on its own. Uh-oh. Starter clutch. Not catching. Little balls in that starter clutch. There we go. They're racing. Racing with the double. What is with this? Doesn't have all that much tension on it. Oh, I see. Somebody done cut the governor spring, cut the end off, so now it's real tight. So what I'm going to do is stretch it out a little bit. And if I bend on this tab, that'll relieve some of the tension. Alright, let's try it again. There we go. Oh. That may be another reason they jumped it. The little balls are all sticky in there. kill stop tab works. Alright, so we don't have the right governor spring, and we need to fix that. So in order to fix the starter clutch, we got to pull the blower shroud off, and then we can take a look at that governor spring. I'm going to look it up. I very highly doubt if I have one, because this thing is so old. But I'll look anyway. So I'm going to get the model, type, and code off the engine. I'm going to look up that governor spring. Alright, let's wipe this off. So it's an 80202 106301, and there's the code. First two digits of the code, 1980. Well, I guess we could have took the cover off too and get a better look at it. Alright, 3 screws. Now we can get a better look at that. 80202. Still hard to read. Alright, let me get a Scotch-Brite. This is getting ridiculous. There we go. First two digits, the year 1980. A lot of Earl in here. Syrup. A lot of dinosaur syrup. Scrape that out of there.
Got an oil leak, Taryl. You need to find out where it's leaking oil from.
Yeah, I bet you I know where it's leaking oil from. It's got 2 filler plugs on it. I bet you one of them's loose. Alright, well, there's a lot of oil under here. And there's a filler plug back here. And a lot of times, because it's buried back here, this is loose. But it seems like it's pretty tight. I'm going to try to tighten it some more with these long needle nose pliers. But since we got to pull the starter clutch off anyway, I'll pop the flywheel and then we'll see if that crank seal might be leaking. In the meantime, I'm going to scrape some of this nasty oil off of this thing. So you can see here on this governor spring that it had been cut and shortened, and then they wrapped it around there, and then it looks like we got some debris. Looks like Fluffy might have been in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that starter clutch off. I'm going to get something to prop this up so we can look at it a little better. So I can feel this starter clutch is sticky. I can feel it. The shaft that this rides on, it's all sticky. So we're going to take off the screws that take off the screen, and then I'm going to put the screws back in. Because the screws are what help hold this little cover on. And sometimes, if you're removing this, that cover will pop off, and then all those little balls in there will come flying out of there. And they'll go rolling all over the place. Then we got to search them, hunt them down. So we'll put that back on. Now I got my starter clutch tool. 19244 is the Briggs & Stratton number. I know they make these things aftermarket. And it's just threaded on there. Regular, you know, right-handed threads. Now this is clean, surprisingly. So this starter clutch is bad. So I'm not going to mess around with trying to clean it and oil it. I'm just going to put a new one on. And then we got this thrust washer. And then I've got a knockoff tool for this. Because if you notice, this flywheel doesn't have any points on it for a flywheel puller. So even if I wanted to put a flywheel puller on it, there's nowhere to put one. Other than a big pulley puller. So here's the knockoff tool. And if you look, it's got brass down the center of it. I don't have the part number for this offhand. But it just sits on the end of the shaft. And then you put some pressure on it with a pry bar and then whack the end of it. The flywheel comes right off. That's how you do that. Now I just ruined the engine. Now it's junk because I did that. That's what a lot of y'all said when I would do this early on in our videos. You just ruined that engine. Oh, did I? How come when I got done with the video it ran? I don't know. I just said you ruined it. Well, I don't know where all that oil came from. But it doesn't seem to be leaking from the seal. I think maybe just that plug might have got loose. Whoever owned this is careless. And when they had oil leak all over the place, they never even bothered to clean it up. And it just probably got all over everything. Or, this is another scenario. Since they were running it with that governor spring all stretched out, and you heard the way the thing was way over revving. Usually when you over rev the engine like that, it wants to puke the oil out through the breather tube. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe it's puking oil out everywhere. Because they was over revving it while they was tilling. Or they overfilled it. But if it was leaking from this seal, you know, it'd be dripping all out of there. Just from that little bit of time that I ran it, it'd have been leaking out. Alright, let me get the new starter clutch, and let me see if I got that spring or one that might work. 80202. So I didn't have the governor spring, but this one is real close to the one that would go on there. It looks like this, but this leg is a little bit shorter. So I think I can probably bend this one and make this one work. Now it's got that little paper clip end on it. If I bend it around, this should work. I'll just stick it on there, and then we'll stick the new starter clutch on there. And then if I have to put more tension on it, all I gotta do is bend this back to get the RPM. And then if I can't get enough RPM, then I gotta shorten it up just a little bit more. Stenz has got the aftermarket starter clutch. 150-029, and then there's the Briggs number 399-671. So I had one up there. I always keep a couple of these on hand. You don't have to oil it or nothing. Put it on. Now it's hammer time. I guess they want you to leave them screws in there. And then there you go. And then put those other ones back in. What did I do with them? Now I lost them. Oh, that's right. I put them back in the old starter clutch. There, you knucklehead, Taryl. Oh yeah, this thing is sticky. So I'm going to spray some of our gel lube in there, which we sell in our online store. Get yourself some. Spray some of that in there to lube up that spring. This thing could go around another turn. Let me get my tool. Doesn't seem like there's enough tension on this spring. So I'll grab my hook tool and drag that rope out. Get around those little pawls. Those little tabs. Woo. Let's see. Pull it out. See if we can go one more. Oh yeah, we can go one more. And there's still some room. Oh, that's much better. Much better. Oh, I think I stabbed myself with that pick tool. Hit that kill, that spark plug wire. Woo, that gave me a good old jolt. Alright, hold on. This link is hanging up. That's part of our problem, why it keeps going crazy. Because somebody was in there bending on it, got it all distorted. Let me try to straighten it out. Because I had it real close and then all of a sudden it started going crazy again. The oil in this cable. Plus this cable it's creeping. Try tightening up that control. I don't know if that's going to help any. Yeah, I tighten it up, it doesn't seem to. Alright, let's start it up. See what happens. $600 we want. Now we got it. But this thing is creeping. So I need to put a new throttle control on here. And you know what? I got a bin of them up here somewhere. A bunch of new old stock throttle controls in here. Cables. Alright, I found a suitable throttle cable, which I think will work. And this looks like it was for an Arians mower, probably. Just snug that up for now because I'm going to probably have to readjust it. Now this has got an adjustable handle on it. So it looks like you could put it in different positions. And they got it in the lowest position, so obviously it was somebody who was short that was using it. I'm going to put it up in the higher position. Or maybe a little kid was tilling with it. Now, it's got the choke symbol on there, but I could take Mr. Paint Pen and just paint over that choke symbol, since it's got a manual choke. So there's fast. We'll use the choke for full fast. And then we should be able to kill it. Alright, let's try it now. Something wrong with this throttle link. I'm going to move this handle up. The little drag spike is missing too. A lot of people don't even need that spike. Alright, they had all that crappy hardware in there. So I went over on the shelf, got me some new carriage bolts and some knobs. So if you want to adjust the handle, you'll be able to. And then I'm going to go ahead. You see what I was trying to do there. I'm trying to make stuff work and it wasn't working right. So I'm going to order the right link and the right governor spring, because that, RPM was all over the place. And I want it to work correctly. So that was a lot of wasted time messing around, trying to get that speed right. So I'll just order the new parts, get them on there. I got some junk tillers in the back. Maybe I can find a drag spike for it. Give it a pressure scrub in, put a new air filter in it, change the oil, and then we'll see what it looks like when I get done doing all that. But for now, at least it runs, and it runs good. It starts easy now, especially when you put it on fast. 300. It was at 36 and it was over revving and it was under revving. That's because this link is bent and we don't have the right spring on there. So once I put those correct parts on there, it should work the way it's supposed to. Alright, well, gotta wait for it to warm up out there. It's about 20 degrees outside. Not a good time to be pressure scrubbing some piece of lawn equipment. So I went out in the junkyard and I got a bunch of these 3-horse engines out there, but from year to year, they made some changes. So ours is a 1980 and I found this 1988 one out there. And they changed the air vane design. This is off the 88. Because I looked up this link, and this link is no longer available. So I thought, all right, well, maybe I'll just take this air vane and governor spring, and I'll just stick it on that 1980. Well, it's not going to work because they cut a bigger notch in the blower shroud. And I mean, I could change all them parts and make this work. But I think I'm just going to steal the governor spring. I got the right spring now. So look at the differences here. So this is from a 1988 80202 where the air vane is like this. And this is ours on the 1980 where the air vane's like this. And the link is different. It's shorter on the 88, and that little loop is on the top where ours is on the bottom. So I just kind of looked at this link and kind of bent it to the same shape. Another thing I noticed that this air vane is kind of tweaked a little bit. This is supposed to be straight up and down. Maybe that had something to do with our engine RPM too. But we do got the right spring. So I'm going to put the spring on. Alright, let's get it put on that turd that we're polishing. Alright, let's put this on. Hopefully it'll throttle and we'll be able to maintain our RPMs. Yeah, I think it's gonna work. I gotta bend that way back because I messed with it. Let me get my needle nose pliers. Because we didn't have the right spring. Remember when I was bending on this thing? That looks like more of how it's supposed to be. Yeah. Much better. Alright, so one other thing I'm going to do too is I'm going to put a new rope in this recoil. Since I got it off, it's probably the original from 1980. I got the new air filter, the Stens one. Got the air box cleaned up. Stens makes this Briggs one aftermarket. I'll cut the bag, I'll put a little motor oil in there because this has got to be oil to catch the dirt. And I got a new elbow for here. This one looks like it's, yeah, look at it, it's hard as a carp from heat from the muffkin blowing on it. So to change this rope, real simple. Pull it out until it stops. And then I'm going to get a couple of screwdrivers. Or one fat screwdriver to wedge that in place there like that. Pull the rope out. Cut the knot off. Then I'll go over to my wall of rope and get me a new piece of rope. Oh, I forgot to mention, I totally forgot to mention, look how clean it is. You're probably thinking, well, look at how clean, look, I cleaned it. It probably took me longer to clean this thing than it did to do the actual repairs we're doing on it. And I also touched it up with some paint. I had some paint that was close to that off-white. You know, I didn't do a real good job masking it and everything. It's just wanted to make it look better. But look at it. Look how clean it is now. Remember how dirty it was? This turd had diarrhea. That's how dirty it was. It had explosive diarrhea. It was, oh man, it was a mess. Now I got it nice and clean. Now this gearbox is not a gearbox, it's a chain case. There's a chain in there. Because I can hear you. You need to check the lubricant in that gearbox. Well, it's just full of grease. There's no lubricant. There's no way to check it. It's just the chain in there that's driving it. It's a chain case. Because I looked all over once I cleaned it to see if there's some kind of plug or grease fitting on there. It's just a cheap tilter plow that they sold back in the day. Probably at Kmart. Alright, let me go cut a new piece of rope. So I cut a new length of rope. I used the old piece of rope to cut it to that length. I made it a little bit longer. This is 1/8 rope. It might be number 4. I looked on there, but it said 1/8. It didn't say like 3.5, because they have rope sizes 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5. It just said 1/8. Sten's rope. See, I just fed it right in there. Put the handle on. Now I'm going to tie a figure 8. A figure 8 knot. Go around. Go like this. Go around and back. And this is where we put the pin. Just like in figure skating. Now I'll hold the rope, pull the screwdriver out, and it'll suck it back in. And again with the gel lube, because I did put this in my parts washer and washed it real good, I'm going to lube it back up. The spring. Alright. Now go back on. Oh! You know who's calling? Money's calling. Let's see who it is. I'm going to oil this oil filter. I'm going to oil this air filter. This is how I do it. Keep it clean. Put some motor, some dinosaur syrup in the bag, and then I'll squeeze it around. I didn't know the bag was open on the bottom. I split it at the top and it was already open on the bottom. That way your dirty hands don't get that new air filter all dirty. As Elkin says, fire it up, fire it up, fire it up! See, when you got the right parts, it works like it's supposed to. All that messing around, trying to make it work with that other spring that I found. Put the air cleaner on. Let's go out. Start my snow garden. That's right. Another thing you need to do on these old L heads or flat heads is always check the head bolts, because they get hot and they stretch, especially if they were plugged up like these were. You know, I'll make it overheat. Now I can get those snow peas planted. Well, there you have it. Polished another turd. You know, turd polishing is just a fancy word for restoration. So there you have it. We got another one going. I do need to do one more thing, as I always do with every turd I polish. And that's put the Taryl sticker on there. Now it's official. So, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Taryl Fixes All. I'm Taryl. Follow me with your turds on Facebook and Instagram. Go to our web store, buy all kinds of stuff, like this license plate. You need to get one of these license plates. And we also have, in motorcycle size, little baby size, so you can put it on your lawn tractor or your favorite piece of lawn equipment. You need to get yourself one. And what do I always say at the end of every video? No, I don't say that. I always say, there's your dinner. Woo! Turd polishing 101 again. Man, this one really had some diarrhea.
Who's there?
I think we found that part.
Hi, guns.
What's going on here, Ossifers? Well, this concerned senior citizen here said you were in some sort of trouble.
Nope, everything's fine. We were just outside looking for some parts.
Why did you think we were in trouble?
Well, I saw your sign, and I decided to call these guys.
What sign? What are you talking about? Oh, I know. Slippers, you knucklehead!
Well, thanks for the assistance, guys. I appreciate your service. I'll be on my way now.
You do know it's against the law to file a false report.
What? I didn't know. I really thought they were in trouble.
Well, in the time we wasted here, 3 lawnmowers were stolen across town. 'Cause of you.
I didn't know, guys. Seriously, it was a mistake.
Get off! Don't let him get away!
Lawn Mower Detectives, I need you guys down here till shop now.
I don't know if there's foul play involved.
Are you supposed to say they were just here or whatever?
They're just here or whatever.
'Cause it smells like somebody died in here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I forgot my line.
Whoa!
Come on, I gotta do it with the other hand.
They've obviously been kidnapped. What?
Some more syrup of my ancestors. the dinosaurs from a pterodactyl. Who knows? This might have been some Triceratops juice or Brontosaurus. Could have even been some from the T-Rex. Not the band, the dinosaur. Even though it was a good band. Mark Bolan. Bang a Gong. He had that other song called Oil and Air Filter. All I know is somebody's getting tasered before we leave here.